I'm Giacomo Zucco.
Man, I love when we have video for the guests, so I don't need to do much introduction. Giacomo, my man, let me just drag you over without any extra introductions here on the screen for our beautiful audience. We start strong.
There is the meme like before and after. That was before and this is after. I know you guys are disappointed. Not just the same as advertised.
I don't know, but look, you have all the transformations. I mean, when this...
my new profile picture, yeah. This is basically the after. So the video was before the lockdown. This is during the lockdown, and that is after the lockdown.
Okay, so man, you're doing better than me because all I have is Uncle Rockstar and Aunt Roxy, and that's it, right?
You still don't have a CryptoFatty for you.
We need to check. Let's check.
I'm not sure you have it.
Well, I must say, you are more popular than me, and you're way better. I'm too busy with coding, but look at this. Huh?
Yeah, right.
25 minutes ago. I just got it.
So the inflation rate of CryptoFatties is incredible. I mean, I don't know what the inflation schedule is, but the stock to flow is very, very low.
Yeah, so it means, this is going down. It won't be as followed.
Yeah.
Now we need to get CryptoFatties number go up.
This is
Francis. Yeah, I love the Nicholas one. Where is the... Oh, yeah, sir. I actually thought this is Maxwell.
Oh no, Gregory Max XXL is actually down there.
No, but I love the Nicholas one. Where is the... Oh my God, I missed all the...
That's Maxwell? Okay,
that is good.
That's Luke.
Sure. Nice.
Leota and
look at this.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Pump.
Eric, Christian Double Decker is very nice.
So
Tone is incredible. That's me, Fat Corral.
Yeah. There is Oliveira.
Nicholas is, but it's...
Nicholas, let's go with Nicholas. There is... I love that it was more... Yeah. Salad.
This is not my order. My trust in you is broken. I will make you obsolete.
There we go. Yeah. So I just love this. But man, we're starting strong. Need to see what have you been up to recently, other than retweeting. Yeah.
So basically, I'm doing mostly cold storage stuff. I don't talk about cold storage publicly very much because that's a topic in which I try to be serious. So I need to not be joking too much about that with Twitter friends. So I'm trying to use the BDK library by Alekos Fellini, Riccardo Casata, and Richard Meyer and other people in order to do cold storage stuff with my clients in Switzerland mostly. And that's the work part. And except for that, I'm doing small private consultancies. I'm trying to do courses more often, like one-on-one courses, Bitcoin 101, running a node. But I'm a very bad organizer. So I think, even if I don't know everything about, I don't really walk the talk because I'm very bad at practical stuff. I'm pretty good as a teacher. The problem is it's that I'm a terrible organizer. So every time I want to launch a new seminar or workshop, it will always take months because I don't have time to check the dates, to set up the website, and also, my website is made with the BTCPayServer, which is this stuff that I don't know if you know it, but it doesn't work. It's
Yeah.
terrible. Lots of bugs, so I cannot get my job done with that.
Well, you're here to complain about that, and we'll see to fix it. But your website, I exactly wanted to ask where all this serious content is living. Is it on your website or?
No, it's mostly not, because those are my fiat clients. So I have a consultancy company in Switzerland, and I don't need a website for them. I use the website mostly for people asking for private consultancies and for retail seminars to people. So like here, there's nothing. You can say there's nothing because I'm a lazy. I was saying a curse word.
No,
Are we still
no.
PG rated? Are we still like PG?
No, no, I will not let that. It's not that you're lazy, you just have too many things going on.
Yeah. Let's put
And
it like that. For
yeah.
example, I have a seminar coming up in today's seminar in August in Mexico, and I just have to put it here in this public calendar, and I'm still too lazy to do that, but I will. And so what I use my website for is mostly I try to collect all my stuff in articles and videos, and there is all the stuff. The problem is that like as you can see, previews are all screwed up. They don't work. Just YouTube previews. So I hate WordPress. I really hate WordPress. And yeah, mostly I use. You can see BTC Pay in action with Book My Time. If you go on Book My Time, you can select a day. So like 50 euros just for something like this. Of course, you are paying me 50 euros, even if you don't know. And
Yeah.
I'm joking now. And
Let's
you
go. Let's
select
go. Let's
you have to select a date on the calendar. Like for example, tomorrow probably yeah, today there is nothing. Maybe try on the 4 on Wednesday 4.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, yeah. For example, for tomorrow, you select, then you select who you are.
Who?
Yeah, who? Like
Valid
email.
email address. Well, this is, I would be like Rockstar Dev.
Let's try. Probably will not even require.
So,
Let's see what happens if you disobey.
yeah, because I need to Rockstar Dev in order to. Ah, damn. Now okay. Rockstar Dev, mail me. Now everyone will email me. Perfect.
Yeah,
I
I
just
will
doxed
subscribe
myself.
you to a lot of sexy mailing lists. So what? So people can tell me, I don't know, I
What?
want to talk about privacy or about CoinJoin of my stuff, about cold storage. I want to know if China will ban Bitcoin. I want to know if Bitcoin will boil the oceans. So this is the topic basically.
There we go.
Medium forks. Okay. You want to talk
And
about medium forks?
no, and for those that are not privy to our inside joke, let's see if I have the episode. I think I have. Yeah, there we go. With our man, all serious Udi. Let's go. Let's listen.
Yeah. The Bitcoin next 2.0, is it a soft fork or a hard fork? Is it a split or is it,
So
an upgrade?
I'm not technical. But Dr. Carlos Matos, he said that it was like a middle fork. So it's not too soft, not too hard. You know when it's just right. You can touch it and it's right. Not
So yeah, I'm just playing with medium fork. I love that one.
We created a lot of like expectation for a new threesome with Lawrence and Udi, but we are making everybody wait like Star Wars sequels. Basically, this is a very there's a lot of expectation about the new one.
Yeah, but we'll see. Maybe we can get them back up and running. But let's get back to medium forks. Yeah.
So we talk about medium forks, just right, not too hard, not too soft. Then
Yeah.
where you just write me your address if it's physical, all the like the Jitsi link if it's cyberspace. So yeah, Jitsi link. Then
Let's do
you
that.
tell me if it's mid space, because if you want to meet me in Sydney, that's okay, but I will have to contact you to pay for my expenses. And in this case, that's no. And if you say yes, it will go to 100 more of donation because I need to waste time into organizing the travel. If it's paperwork, so if it's not a donation, a free donation in Bitcoin, but you actually want to sign a contract, then I will ask you some tax refund or something, and even some more. If it's private, so you don't want me to publish, I will ask you some more. And now you can book, and it's BTC Pay with Lightning as the first option. So it's as you can see, yeah, this card page is a little bit annoying, but I think I know how to take it off. It's not really a BTC Pay thing. It's more like a WordPress product thing. So I think I know how to take it off.
Yeah,
But I still
okay.
didn't.
So when we
Now here,
clicked proceed to
proceed.
BTC Pay,
Yeah.
now we have
And now
Lightning
yeah,
and Bitcoin.
Lightning
Man,
is the first one, and I think we already have some discussion about this screen.
yeah, we did, but let's see. I have this is where I advertise Strike. So I have Strike. Let's see if you
Okay.
have channels set up.
I should be very liquid. Also because I win bets
Yeah.
with Eric Wall, and he has to pay me on Lightning to 2,000 euros. So I tend to be very liquid. Oh,
You're
great!
liquid.
Thank you.
Now Adam Back will come to us and say, "Oh, thank you for advertising Liquid."
Exactly.
But no, man, you set up this quite well. Wow.
Thanks. I got a lot of help by especially Panic FOMO, because Panic FOMO, right?
Funny FOMO, you need to send me Twitter.
Yeah, just Panic FOMO.
Oh,
Yeah, Panic. So
let's.
she helped me because, for example, my sense of aesthetic is terrible, and I don't know how to set up teams. Yeah, she's the one. She chose the team for me, like all this matrix stuff that you see. I just told her, Panic, my aesthetic is very trash. I love I love kitsch stuff. I want the matrix theme stuff, and she selected the theme because I will not ever have time to look into that. So I owe her a big time for helping me selecting the aesthetical stuff. And also she gave me a lot of suggestion about how to like systematize information. For example, she
I need to bail her out. I need to bail her
yeah,
out, but yeah.
yeah, exactly. For example, if you, I think a funny thing will be in the home page of the website, you can see the FAQ, the frequently asked questions, which she suggested me to do in order to explain better. And I think they're kind of funny because, for example, let me check. I have a legal disclaimer. So, like, does this mean that you are selling professional services using this website? Oh, dear Lord, no. That will probably require us to negotiate and sign some boring legal paperwork all the time. Also, it will require me to pay additional taxes, and taxation is theft. So I already have a regular consultancy job, and this is just a donation in kind to help non-profit Bitcoin activities. So it's a very
Nice.
good legal disclaimer.
Nice. Well, I mean, I'm telling you, first of all, look at this. I mean, you're getting a lot of female clients. That must be true, right?
Yeah, this is objectification of my body for the sake of my job, but I'm willing to make this sacrifice.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, you need to help me out with this. And man, when you post all these pictures, yeah, it's quite obvious all the work that you're doing.
Yeah,
first of all,
tagging around with smarter people, and that's basically my job.
Yeah, always with a joke.
You. I'm afraid there is no picture with you right here. We have to take one because yeah.
I'm good. I'm good with pictures. I avoid them very well. And then for Miami, where I'm forced to speak on stage, because at conferences, what usually happens is I'm speaking at bars after midnight. So those are my speaking engagements. But for Miami, I had to accept on stage arrangement in order to get some guest tickets. And yeah, I was at this one. Man, it's quite something watching you on the stage. But
so anyway, it doesn't matter. I will take a picture with Vin Diesel and I will just put it on the website and pretend it's you. No big deal.
Exactly. That's what we're going to do. I mean, you take picture with me, and because I'm Vin Diesel lookalike, everyone will think you took a picture with Vin Diesel. So
that picture with Adam Beck just on the left, that's beautiful because look at my shirt. Back to the Future. This was not planned, but I was very happy about this picture.
Yeah, you and crazy professor. So perfection.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfection.
I've been told that I look like a fat version of Marty McFly, so it could be Adam could be Doc Emmett Brown a little bit, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so website, I'm telling you, phenomenal.
Thanks, but everything is broken because if you go on the articles and videos, you will see that all the previews are broken. So I'm not really good at WordPress, apparently. The video is there, but the preview is not. This is WordPress crap.
Welcome to the future.
Probably you have to put some special tags and stuff like that. I have no idea.
Nice. This interview also, I love this one. But Bitcoin has sent me to see all your problems, Giacomo, and then broadcast them. And now we need to have some volunteers jumping in and helping fix all of the small problems. Or we motivate you to do it because, as you were saying, for upcoming events, I definitely want to see upcoming events so that I know which conferences I should come to.
So, again, thanks to Panic FOMO, who helped me navigating into WordPress plugins, this page automatically connects with my public calendar. So if I only am not such a lazy bitch to just write an event on my calendar, it will just appear here. So it's not even a big WordPress management deal. I just have to put it on my calendar, and I'm not because I'm a lazy bitch. But I will eventually, maybe tonight.
Because you're too busy, I'm telling you. We were supposed to do preparation call yesterday, but you were hijacked by all the people you were helping. Today it's me, tomorrow who knows who it is. But I'm creating action items for you after this, so it will be like fix articles and videos, and then put.
Another thing that I wanted to do was to put into articles and video. Since I'm not just lazy, I'm also very greedy. I also want a donation address under to tip articles and videos. And I know that BTCPayServer has a donation stuff, but I never tried it out. So I need to probably install it in the option. Maybe we can do it tonight. I have to install that option and to put donations inside specific articles. So you read a treatise on Bitcoin privacy, and you can tip specifically for that. That would be something interesting.
Sure. Because for me, this is now professional, condition, because now I have a team of 20 people in Strike. So all I'm doing whole day is I'm writing down action items and then addressing it. But to get back on Twitter and everything that's happening on Twitter, obviously we're not going to talk about COVID-19.
I already gave my opinion pretty clearly on many.
We will rather talk about fuck you marathon. Well, we just lost PG-13 rating, but still, I guess this deserves that, right? Like what it is, OFAC compliant.
I mean, it's bad enough you are wasting your time trying to censor Bitcoin, but you also miss the only kind of not just practical useful thing, but also cultural virtue signaling that you could do. You could be part of something great by signaling taproot activation. Instead, you choose to miss that out, to screw up with that, and to instead focus on censoring people's transaction based on political preferences, which is just terrible. I don't know why these people think that it would be a good idea that their community will react in a merciful way. We will not. We will probably be very, very nasty with Mara.
Yeah, but to me, it's quite interesting when I see these people. They kind of wrap it up into like we're doing a good thing. Like we just have Kevin O'Leary join the whole Bitcoin thing, and his thing, the one he picked, is exactly this. Like clean Bitcoins, by his definition, are the ones that will be more worthy than dirty Bitcoins that have been used over time.
Yeah, which means that they really think that something non-fungible can actually be worth more than something completely fungible, which is nonsense. Because if when you use something to pay, you need to the payee, the receiver, the merchant needs to actually assess the history, the political history of all the chain of previous payers. They have to do chain analysis to be sure that they are not inheriting political risk. This is not going to be an efficient payment system at all, and it's not a good form of money either. Also, there is this fork that they think that Bitcoin can be completely censored and completely prone to surveillance and completely unfungible and unprivate, but still it will be good because numbers go up. What they don't realize is that regulation is never static, it's dynamic. If you give up censorship resistance and you start to do KYC only Bitcoin, then the regulator will push to have a hard fork to introduce Federal Reserve regulated inflation into Bitcoin code, and you will have to follow, because it will never be enough until the regulation will be just the same as fiat. And so your use of Bitcoin will be the same as a crappy version of fiat money. So it really doesn't make any sense to think about the compliant Bitcoin. And these people are just, as you said, these are people that are trying to shape Bitcoin into their own image, which is a different version of what Roger Ver did, other people did. They take Bitcoin and they want to fix it in order to make it closer to their image of it. And they usually fail and they get angry and they move to some altcoin eventually. And I think that may happen to people like Mara and I don't want to. I know this is very unpopular, but I'm scared that may happen to Michael Saylor as well. Now he's a hero, a good guy, like super giga Chad. But if he keeps thinking that Bitcoin will answer to his requirements of regulation and surveillance and censorship, he's in for a bad surprise, because Bitcoin doesn't care for Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor needs Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't need Michael Saylor. So, Michael, don't become a shitcoiner. If you go down this lane, you will, and you just have to accept Bitcoin as it is. You have to adapt to Bitcoin, not the other way around.
Well, Michael will supposedly be in Miami. I am going to meet him at some point, especially with the whole strike involvement. So I guess I now have a video segment to reference. Because, yeah, there was some conversation recently, what it was, Michael, Elon, and miners in USA preparing a report to Elon that he will distribute to everyone, that it's like renewable energy, right? They need to buy it from Elon. Well, what was that about?
It's bad on so many points. The first point is, of course, centralization risk. Every time you play you play at the cartel game and you create a cartel, is not a good thing. Eventually, Bitcoin must survive to cartels, so Bitcoin will beat cartels. But it's not a good thing that you try to create one. And especially if you try to do that in order to try to make Bitcoin non-fungible, trying to distinguish green Bitcoin from not green Bitcoin, and especially promoting fake news as somebody would say, about the problem of Bitcoin transactions wasting energy, which is completely nonsense. There are, I will not even enter into details. There are so many good articles about why that is completely nonsense.
let's enter into details, because I think this is where my stream, like timeline, can be so useful. I mean, Indy 500. Why don't we do that with proof of stake? Like all the teams can gather before the race, and they can decide who is number one, who is number two, who is like. Exactly. Why are they doing like all this? And they're burning fuel, like they're polluting this planet. Like why are they boiling the ocean, Giacomo? Please tell me.
They are just evil. They don't understand that your proposal makes sense. So it's a beautiful circular logic. They use their position in the race as a weight for voting for the positions in the race. This makes sense, right? What could go wrong? This is exactly proof of stake. Let's call it proof of position.
Sorry, I can't stay serious.
The closer you are to first place, the more voting power you have to decide the winner of the race. I mean, this is completely, those are very good incentives, I think.
Yeah, you'll need to help me practice for this. Yeah, it absolutely makes sense. So,
yeah.
So the next Indy 500, they will gather, and whoever is the closest to first place, he will. I don't even know.
So I know that it seems like there is a bootstrapping problem. So it's a circular reasoning. The place is decided by a vote, weighted vote by people based on position. But how can you define the position without the vote? It's simple. At the beginning, there is just Vitalik Buterin choosing 60% of the positions, and he will just choose that by himself. And then after this bootstrap, you can actually use this circular logic forever, and everything will be super fair and super effective, game theoretically.
Yes, exactly. And if they ever run into problems, they can just do paper scissors, like stone paper scissors, and solve the problem.
Medium fork. They just medium fork the chain, and that's.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah, we see who has the mediumest fork. And that's the winner. Yeah, and that will drive the innovation in car industry and everything else. Absolutely, yes. Absolutely. That all makes perfect sense.
People thought it was about Turing completeness, or about rich statefulness, or about sharding. It's actually about the right level of forking.
Yeah, exactly. Eventually it ends up like this. Yeah. You think Bitcoin car is winning? What's the prediction here? Because we need an update. We need to see what is happening. But this was hilarious. We had like PNC Bank sponsored Indy 500 car run out of the fuel. And we had a great comment. Yeah. So
nice.
Rattle. Indy, let's see. This is a live Indy 500 2021 positions. What's happening live? We'll need
news.
to.
Maybe if you go to news. Okay.
Live.
So
because
maybe on Twitter they have some update. I don't know. But do we know the name of the pilot? Because I don't remember
it. From Netherlands, VK. Let's see if our dear viewers can help us out. Anybody from the comment section? No. Halfway. Rinus VK is our guy. So
21 for now.
Yeah, so he's second place, and that was after the halfway through race, so 100 laps.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah, 21 is the number like car number. Very nice, 21. Huh?
Yeah, so Renus is representing us, and we had the whole.
Okay, no pressure. I mean, you just represent the new hope for the future of mankind as the first example of sound money after the end of the gold standard. So no pressure, just relax.
No pressure, Venus. Well, let's go. Let's go. Front row, that was phenomenal. So, yeah. Zach saying fourth position. No, Zach, we're in second place. We need to win this race. It will be phenomenal for Bitcoin. But Giacomo, your feed, yes. Let's see on your feed. What else do we have? Because
you will mostly find CryptoFatties for the last 2 days, I guess.
Well, we go beyond that because you were talking about Michael Saylor.
No, actually, we have this other CryptoFatty, but this is not a Photoshop thing. This is just too much carbohydrates in a Mediterranean diet, and this guy basically decided that in order to piss off Bitcoiners, because he fought with Saifedian about Coro-Nazi lockdowns, and since he got pissed at Saifedian, he decided that he will be an anti-Bitcoiner for that reason, and now he decided that he will sponsor Craig Wright, the fraud, in order to piss Bitcoiners off. So that seems very reasonable, very mature, very insightful, and I think history will remember Professor Taleb very kindly for this kind of mature behavior.
Yeah, I mean, it's good old your wife cheats on you, then you cut off your medium fork. So that's the approach, exactly. I mean, I'm actually thinking, Giacomo, you and me should go to one of the CoinGeek conferences and make a show over there.
Yeah, but first I want to fight with Saifedian, and then I will go to piss him off.
Okay. We have that set. I just hope you'll be able to come to BitBlock Boom, which is in August in Texas, because Safe will definitely be there.
I'm not sure that I will be allowed to enter Texas in August without all the workaround that I would have used for Miami as well. But let's see. If I will be in Mexico anyway, so maybe we can match.
Here is the thing: if you're in Mexico, you can enter from Mexico.
Yeah. The problem is just that we are in Mexico since 9th of August, and the baby is home, so probably my mother will be. But
let's see. Let's see. Because on your feed, what I always see, I see that you're very, very conscious of people's emotions, making sure you don't, trigger anyone. And one topic always impresses me when it comes to you, and I want to discuss it, which is cops. I see that you always can hold certain level of joking, unless it's cops.
Yeah, I really that's something that really I lose my sense of humor when we are talking about. I think it's crazy. I always thought it was crazy that if somebody, so there are two guys, and those two guys are interacting with some action. So one guy is shooting the other, or one guy is paying the other, or one guy is yelling at the other, and based on the fact that one guy has a funny hat, then you can immediately assign blame and rights based on the uniform, which I think it's the most retarded ethical idea ever. I mean, you can say people are so fanatical that they cannot do a very simple experiment, and when they judge a scene, they just have to try to switch the dressing code, and now they have to ask themselves if they would say the same in the other scenario. Like, okay, there is a girl with a knife, and then there is a guy with a gun, and the girl with the knife is holding the knife down, and the man with the gun is afraid for his life, and he shoots the girl. So if you dress the girl as a police woman, and the guy as a black man with a patch on his eye, you are probably very you are probably rushing to say that the guy is a killer, because he's a cop killer, because there was no direct threat, and why he did have a gun in the first place. He was armed and dangerous because he was going around with a gun. So the policewoman was more than legitimized to go around with a knife, because this dangerous guy was reaching for the gun, which he was. Then you switch the dressing code, and everything is different. Now the guy did the right thing because he was fearing for his life, and that very dangerous 13 years old girl was actually holding a knife, but he was holding a gun, which is more dangerous than a knife. So why cannot people understand that the situation cannot be made ethically different by dress codes? It doesn't matter if you dress in blue or not. It just matters what you do, and if you have the individual right to do that. And I get triggered every time I get stopped by a policeman in Italy or in Switzerland. It's always very tense, because basically they approach me and they ask me, what are you doing here? And usually I respond, what are you doing here? And I mean, just symmetry, just being peers.
Yeah, but it's that whole government thing with them given priority based on the dress code and expected to act in certain manner.
It is. It's the statism is actually the religion that this kind of fanatical cult that makes people think that something that will be unethical to do by me, it's actually ethical to do by a guy hired by a politician. So if a politician is paying a guy with stolen money to do something that would be wrong for me, it's actually not wrong anymore. So something can be immoral, but if a state employee will do the same thing, it will become not just moral, but even heroic or something. It's just crazy for me. I cannot understand it.
It's the opt-in system. That's how I see it. We will, as programmers like to say, we'll have big refactoring. The way that I see is because this whole state system is ancient. It's a monolith legacy that we have inherited, and you have not opted in to be, intercepted by agents of state.
Precisely.
It's just that we need to create new space where we establish, a dress code and everything else, and then you can opt in. But right now, majority of us on this planet Earth, we're opted in by birth. Yeah, what it is, like original sin.
Original sin, and also in a change in a so-called social contract, which is changing all the time. It's worse than Ethereum, basically. There is a social contract, and then a politician wakes up, and he will just change the social contract one day to the other, and you will just be supposed to adapt, because now you cannot work anymore there, now you cannot go there. Now it's like a total arbitrary decision by politicians. And what is especially incredible for me is that people don't think that politicians are usually particularly bright or particularly honest. So if you ask somebody, do you think politicians are better than you ethically or intellectually, they will say no, they are morons and they are usually corrupt. But if politicians will send somebody dressed like a Playmobil soldier to hurt people or to steal money, for some reason that will actually grant them ethical immunity to their action. And especially triggered by conservatives, because when a communist tells you that they want state henchmen going around with guns to rob people, I mean, he's a communist, so okay. But if a small government conservative, which is always about, I want my right to keep my gun and my money, and I want to pay taxes, and then they will defend the people that mostly go around taking guns out of people and taking money out of people, and they will be anti-lockdown, but then they will defend the police, which are actually the guys enforcing the lockdown. I mean, without cops, laws will just bad laws, terrible laws, without cops enforcing them, will just be bad opinions. So if you think about a terrible law, like racial laws in the Nazi Germany, that law, which is terrible, if not for the SS and the cops enforcing it would just be a very bad opinion by a funny guy with mustaches, a failed painter with mustaches. Literally, it would be nothing. Something you could like at. A very stupid opinion, a very insensitive opinion, but nothing more except for the people with guns enforcing that opinion into people's life.
Yeah. So it's this, right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But this is usually a joke that you do with left wing progressives. So you are like you're a typical like left wing hippie, and you say that you want more government, and that is more government. But actually, the joke is mostly on conservatives. They say that they want less government, and that they are praising for the guys on the right of the picture, which is even more crazy.
Well, they're there, guys, and what I've came to learn being a developer for so long is, especially in development, that's obvious. A lot of people can point out the problem, but the solutions they're pointing out are usually like laughable when it comes to coding. And I think we're experiencing the same thing when it comes to our governments and political systems and everything else. Is everyone now is at the point where they're cheering on for, you know, their team or tribe or whatever it is, failing to recognize complexity of the problem and what would be the most robust way to address the problem. Because it's so easy to get into trap of misunderstanding, which is what we see with Bitcoin maximalism that you pretty much founded. And this is the meme. But yeah, noobs always say, oh, I want to experience life. I want to go into this crowd and be torn to shreds by all the insiders and pumps and dumps. And you have this is a thing. But I'm telling you, my question on that one, again, because you are really the founder of Bitcoin maximalism, is did you really expect it will end up you were more aiming for this, and instead what we got is not exactly like this. It's not as fun. But what are your thoughts on that?
So there are a few things. What I didn't expect. So get back to the other image. If you still have it, the image of the girl. Okay, here. The girl with the knight. So the thing is, which is not really realistic in this picture, is that here the princess, the girl or the witch, whatever, she's very grateful for the knight protecting her for the mob trying to lynch her. Actually, noobs are not happy if you try to tell them that their expectations are stupid. They don't have this very nice face touching your arms like, oh, thank you for protecting me. They really want to be scammed. They desire to be scammed. They aspire to be scammed. So after a while, I still think that this is a good representation of the intentions of maximalists to protect people and conversation from going through their own mistakes. Like I was a shitcoiner in 2013, and I've lost money and time and a little bit of reputation with Lawrence Naum, because when I first met him, I praised the innovation of Ripple to him, and of course he basically destroyed me on that day. So I have lost a little bit of Lawrence respect and a lot of time and some money, because I was just I have the excitement of Bitcoin had destroyed or any kind of critical sense, any kind of skepticism, of healthy skepticism and of critical thinking. So Lawrence helped me by actually punching me in the face intellectually and explaining me that most of the things I was parroting were actually super stupid. And if you go down and actually consider the monetary theory aspect and the technical aspect and the cybersecurity aspect, this stuff doesn't make any sense. But I was grateful at the end that he saved me. Most of the people coming in, they are not grateful that we want to spare them our mistakes, but they want to experience their mistake. So probably one of the things that I was overestimating about maximalism is how much useful and appreciated it is by noobs themselves. They are most like kids. Parents, they want to teach kids to avoid their mistakes, repeating their mistakes. But kids, they just want to get scammed. They just want to get wrecked, and there is no really a way around that. So at this point, I have to actually understand. I'm actually criticizing a scam because I'm protecting noobs, or am I doing that because I like it? And probably the point is the second, is the latter. I just like it. I like clarity. I like critical thinking. I like modeling thoughts, and this requires separating realistic stuff from bullshit. And I feel pleasure, intellectual pleasure, when I debunk bullshit. So this is the original intention of maximalism, but this is not the ultimate reason we go further with this. And the second thing that was not as I expected is that I was assuming that the distinction between jokes and an actual serious point was easy to make. Like at the beginning, I was using Dentacoin as a obvious joke. Like if you go that way, you will eventually have to buy it into Dentacoin. But people just some of the people I know actually asked me, okay, when I should buy Dentacoin, which price? I mean, there is no limit to the joke. There is not a clear-cut limit to something which is so absurd that it's obviously a joke, and something which is serious. And this is very, yeah, exactly. This is Dentacoin, and people really wanted to buy that. The other thing that impressed me, like 3 years ago, I was the consultant of a very large Italian banking group, one of the largest Italian banking groups, and the head of innovation of that group asked me, which blockchain do I have to use for this project? And I sent him www.myblockchain.xyz, which is a very old joke. That's basically a fork of MySQL, but they changed MySQL in order to call the tables blocks, and they call the records transaction, and then it's MySQL. And it's a very funny website because they are the FAQ. It's very well made. So take a look. It's beautiful. And there's the white paper, the FAQ. And I sent him these. And this guy is the head of innovation of one of the major banking groups in Italy. He was, actually. It's not anymore. And he didn't get the joke. And a few days later, he was trying to install my blockchain XYX. Seriously. So the point is, people are the knowledge, the information asymmetry in this, let's call it industry. It's not an industry, it's just a scam clusterfuck. The information asymmetry is so huge that you cannot even use irony effectively, because people will actually believe it. Even when I gave my first maximalist presentation in Riga, people in the room was laughing because I was clearly exaggerating things like everything which is not Bitcoin is a scam. That's clearly self-ironic, because human life is not Bitcoin, is not a scam. There are a lot of things that are not Bitcoin are not a scam. Good food is not a scam, but it's not Bitcoin. But the point was to exaggerate. It was to be self-ironic based on the accusation, and try to show that even an exaggerated accusation, even a straw man, actually adds some point as a general heuristic. So it was a funny way to make a serious point. And actually, people screenshot that for universal truth, just like it was completely serious. It's incredible. You cannot joke.
I wish I prepared better for this, because I remember, man, you inspired so many journalists to write articles where they're like, oh, evil Bitcoin maximalists, because Vitalik was the first one to use it as one of the first ones to use it in a pejorative way, right? It's Bitcoin max. But then I remember I need to find those articles and link them in video summaries, but in the end you didn't inspire there is a Bitcoin and there is a shitcoin in U.S. Congress, right?
That was a glorious moment. Of course, it was facilitated. At that point, I thought that basically we were winning this kind of. So what is even winning in this specific topic? Winning is not making so that stupid things cannot exist. Stupid things will always exist. If you go in a science forum, in a physics forum, you will find people presenting theories about unified theory of physics or a second type perpetual motion or cold fusion. You will always have bullshit. It's normal. It will never disappear. But you can actually tell bullshit from serious, honest stuff. So when you go to a physics conference, well, there is a lot of bullshit as well, like string theory. But it's at least it's like a higher bar for your bullshit. You need to actually make some effort to bullshit people with string theory. And in the so-called crypto industry, there is not such a bar. You go to a conference which is not a maximalist conference, so you go to any conference which is not basically Baltic on Badger, understanding Bitcoin, building on Bitcoin, breaking Bitcoin, or unconfiscatable. Except for those, there is no distinction between complete bullshit and Bitcoin. Everything which is Bitcoin inspired or Bitcoin sounding is considered the same level by everybody else. It's just like Eternal September, where people entering the space of the internet are actually really believing in any kind of bullshit IBM or Xerox alternative internet. It's just nonsense. So the victory in this case will be not to make scams disappear. That's impossible. But it would be to create a perceived difference between something serious that actually has consequence on the future of mankind, which is Bitcoin, and something funny, which is a set of buzzwords like crypto or blockchain that can be used for marketing. They can be used for money grabs. They can be used for trolling, for having fun, but they are not serious. So this distinction will be the final victory of maximalism, not banning people from saying bullshit. People will always be free to say bullshit, to develop bullshit, to sell bullshit, and that's fine. But it would just be nice to have a distinction. And I think that Congressman, what was his name? Davidson, maybe something like
Yeah,
that.
Davidson.
Davidson. He made exactly the point. There is Bitcoin and there is shitcoin. Once this is clear, please let's go shitcoining all the way. Let's shitcoin as much as you want. The important thing is not to dilute in a specific sense. Uh, Bitcoin is digital scarcity. As long as the market understands that Bitcoin is scarcity, then shitcoins are infinite inflation. You can have how many you want of shitcoins. They cannot be scarce. They can be collectibles for some time, and then they will just eventually disappear or have some kind of turnover. And we don't care, and we are happy about that. But there needs to be a distinction. What I actually regret about that moment in the Congress was that the Bitcoin representative, I'm not going to name names, but she didn't actually leverage the great insight by Congressman Davidson, and she actually answered about cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's her position as well because she was in a lot of. Yeah, her eggs are in the shitcoin basket. It's like you can't pound it as much. But that's another thing I wanted to mention for you. Like, did you expect that this many people are going to grab that mantle of Bitcoin maximalism and then try to leverage it for their own gain?
That's also another interesting thing. It created, basically, as we discussed before, a virtue signaling mechanism. So now, if you are maximalist, you can actually calling out shitcoiners was a very niche activity. Some Bitcoiners were actually good at that, and not just not mostly me, but mostly developers, early developers were calling out frauds and misrepresentation in the shitcoin field. So
Oh,
Gregory Maxwell, Andrew Polstra talking about proof of stake. Those guys were not referring to themselves as maximalists. They were just people interested in Bitcoin.
Peter Todd.
And yeah, Peter Todd.
But
And we are mostly the guys who decided to reappropriate the maximalist term in an ironic way, which those guys didn't even do. Like, I never heard Greg Maxwell defining himself a maximalist. That was just an insult against him. What we did was trying, and this kind of second layer of not real developers, just people good at talking, but not as much
social developers.
Oh, okay, you can put it that way in a very elegant way. Social developers and not code developers. We decided to do this reappropriation. You know, the same stuff as queer. Queer was an insult, and now it's queer studies is actually a technical academic term. Or even I don't know, even impressionist in paintings, it was an insult. Or even Whigs and Tories. Whigs and Tories, the political terminology, they were insults, and they have been reappropriated. And that's the same here. Since the meme of insulting somebody, debunking your shitcoin, as calling him a maximalist, we decided to try to diffuse this meme by reappropriating of the term in a self-ironic way. What I didn't expect was actually people making a living out of, not really a living, but making
making a living. Yeah, I mean, you now have people yelling at Elon Musk and taking this morally high position of defender of Bitcoin. We won't name names, but it is interesting.
We created parroting, basically, virtue signaling and parroting, which is, I think it's locally bad. Like when you see somebody not really aware of what he's saying, just parroting somebody else and just making a point of creating a distinction and just criticizing. When you see like the challenge, the race to find the flaw on each other just for the sake of that, that's bad locally. But I think it's also interesting and maybe even good on a social layer, because that's basically a social taboo, a social protocol. Social protocols are not just made of people who are insightful and nuanced and well resonant and I mean, a social taboo, like again, we made the example of people throwing a cigarette on the ground. This is bad, but it's not that bad, because if everybody does that, it's bad. But if you just do that, probably the amount of pollution you are causing directly is inexistent. But if the meme "don't throw your cigarette on the ground" is reasonable enough, meaning that it's not expensive to avoid it, and it's actually a problem if everybody does it. So you create this kind of social protocol in which people will not throw the cigarette, not because it's really a threat to the environment itself. It's an irrelevant threat to the environment. They will not do it because it's like a social taboo to do that in public. And we created the same kind of social incentive mechanism about shitcoining. Now, if you shitcoin, like Trace Meyer, like, I mean, sometimes even like friends that are semi shitcoining, like when people are issuing an ERC20 to represent a stock or a share, they're just para shitcoining, and people will actually bother
call them out,
and which is annoying for them. I understand it, but it's not. Let me give you another example, not about maximalism, not about shitcoins, but about centralization. The same year that I gave the Bitcoin maximalism dissected speech, which was against shitcoins, I also gave the presentation of the B Foundation. And the idea was to put together the open source sponsorship efforts by me with BHB Network and Trezor guys and Blockstream guys and Alena and other people. The idea was, let's get these people together and let's centralize sponsorship for development based on donations. which is basically what now has been done by CryptoSquare and Brink and others. This grand idea. When we did it, the community, part of the community, thought it was a risk of centralization, and that we may have been in bad faith and try to recreate a Roger Ver-like situation or a Gavin Anderson-like situation or something like that. In the merit of the criticism, I thought it was unfair because it was not my intention. It was not our intention. We were actually going to be very respectful. Of course, we know that, but I appreciated that kind of knee-jerk reaction by the community because it was representative of some kind of instinctual immune system. Like even before thinking, if there is a risk of centralization, even if the guys are your friends and you think they may be well motivated and well intentioned, it doesn't matter. The first reaction was everybody was cheering me for the Maximalism presentation, and everybody was criticizing me for the B presentation, and that was it was humbling. It was annoying a little bit, but I really appreciated that in Insight. I'm very grateful for people like mocking me with the bullshit foundation and the E foundation, that was, or the no B foundation hats by Novak. Those were great reactions, and I appreciated them.
No,
and this is another.
It's a proof of work, right?
Yeah, but it's also the construction of a social protocol, which is not always reasonable, but as long as it doesn't hurt anybody, they are just words. If people start to kill shitcoiners burn them on the stake, that's bad. That's a very bad social protocol, and we have to stop it. But if people are just going to actually be overcritical of other people every time there is a token involved, like every time there is a near C20 token, people will instinctively react in a critical way. It may be wrong sometimes, but it's a very good overall social heuristics. When people are using an RC20 token, probably they are basically being less than 100% honest on their intention. So it's a good heuristic, and I'm not scared by the fact that the B with John.
The B, yeah.
So many interviews explaining the details of the donation mechanism, and then we just killed it. We just called it off because it was dangerous, and most of the people involved they appreciated that was dangerous.
No, that's again the way that I see it. It is exactly that proof of work and making sure keeping you honest, and not even keeping you honest, but forcing you to be better. That's what you experience as soon as you become Bitcoiner. Because I look at myself and the amount of trash people throw my way. But that forces you early on to decide and say, okay, are my intentions pure? Yes, they are, or they're not. And if they are, then you stand and fight. And along the way, that's how you develop relationships. When I look at you, that's how you and me developed relationship, because there was some accusations of BTCPayServer and the whole supporting shitcoins kind of stuff.
I was harassing you about Shitcoin support. And that was the beginning of our friendship.
I should have taken screenshots of your harassment and reported you to police, and then men in funny suits would come to you and they would make you behave. But no, seriously, when it comes to that BTCPayServer, I need to find the tweet of Nicholas, because it shows it well. Like how the whole shitcoin system tries to present, Bitcoin is one out of how many? Like how many? 5,000 different cryptocurrencies. It doesn't matter that there is absolutely no liquidity on. like right here. But yeah, 5 billion market cap. Nicholas had a great presentation when it showed like, okay, how it is, and that Bitcoin is 95%, and then 5% is actually like the action that's happening on everything else. And in that sense, I was trying to present that exactly the way that you were saying, is like there will always be shitcoins. You can never stop people. And I used a metaphor there because I was arguing with Francis mostly on that one, but it was, let's go back in time and let's kill Vitalik so that he can't create the golden machine for inventing new shitcoins. What have we done? We'll just empower, what is the name of that guy that goes and just invents new shitcoins and takes like tens of millions of dollars?
Like McAfee, like John, or
no, he is at least entertaining. There is that guy, Satoshi responded to him, if you don't get it, I don't have time. Damn, I need to refresh my shitcoin history. Let's see if we can find it.
Maybe that was Garzik. I don't remember. Garzik just did one shitcoin. It's called Metronome.
No, anyway, the one that's developer.
And I'm not sure I know this particular shitcoin.
Yes, you know him for sure. It's not Hedera, it's the damn. I'm gonna kill myself.
Wait. Okay, I know. You are talking about the creator of BitShares, and then
yes,
and then
what's the name? He's now starting a new.
Yeah. It's the four consecutive shitcoin. It's incredible.
Here we go.
EOS and
no, not Charles Hoskins, but Dan Larimer.
Larimer, yeah.
There we go. Dan, good old. This time I got it. Great
guy. I mean, every time was exiting and creating a new one. Each time it was a bigger scam, and it was incredible. And I mean, yeah, I would probably let me say that this guy made slightly less damage than Vitalik, because by killing his own scams, moving on to another scam, he made probably a comparable amount of money. I'm not sure much less money than Vitalik, especially because he was very, very early on. But at least he didn't create any standing pretense of alternatives to Bitcoin. He's just killing his own scam every time, which is interesting. I mean, Vitalik, if you are listening to this, you did the quantum computer scam, and then you did the Ethereum scam. The Ethereum scam is actually 6 years old. How much? I mean, it's too much. Let's move on. We will welcome your next scam. Maybe do something, I don't know, in biohacking, artificial intelligence, drones, 3D printing. Take some kind of emergent technology that nobody understands and just cook up some kind of unintelligible amount of bullshit in order to sell an investment scheme. Please do that, and we will thank you forever.
Yeah, I mean, but Vitalik, he needs to present it seriously, right? It's like,
yeah,
there is my essay on why can't you scale the block size, but we can do shards.
I mean,
we can do
Vitalik,
shards.
Welcome in 2016. Okay.
No, but I'm telling you, as for Charles, sorry, man, but for Charles, I just can't hate this guy because
no, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
I met him in I don't know where he is now in this picture, but I met him in Odessa. Crazy parties, a lot of vodka, and he's a very funny guy. And I think that he started generally thinking that there was some kind of way to create a working proof of stake. So his initial interest was actually mostly academic, and then he just realized that he can become super rich. So I cannot judge him. I mean, okay.
Yeah, and he was ready. I mean, I don't know if most of the guys know, but you would expect, looking at Charles, that he is, serious fella, like in aged and, like university professor, but he's like 30. He has this whole persona. He was what, like 25 when the Ethereum started, but he maintains this persona of older dude being taken seriously, you know. So that's actually, I need to see if I can learn from him. Can ask, because I never take the glasses, the shirt, but I'm telling you, he is, I don't know, 30 or something like that. Let's see. I know as soon as people find out, they can't believe it.
I mean, why do you think I'm trying so hard to get bald? Just because of that. I want to be taken seriously. With all the young hair, people were just not taking me seriously enough. So I'm working hard to lose it.
Yeah. So he's not 33, 34. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. So he was 25, 2014. Professor Hoskins. But Giacomo, I'm looking at the clock. It's already been an hour.
An hour. So good for me, because I escaped some time under the
coding,
scrutiny.
Actually coding. But
so let me waste the last 5 minutes not coding, just to tell you about my problem with coding. Why I am a very, very bad developer. So I tell you a little bit of my story with coding. I had no coding experience in young age or like high school, zero. I was doing archaeology stuff in high school, like classical, Latin, Greek, and stuff like that. Then I joined physics as university, and for the first time, in the first year, they taught me Fortran as a programming language. And then after Fortran, I actually it was a very theoretical class. There was no hands down exercise. All was very theoretical. And then after Fortran, I started to fall into the rabbit hole of theoretical programming, and I started to study on my own, basically lambda calculus. And I was super, like, I was completely in love with lambda calculus and Haskell and church numerals and everything like that. And then I discovered, I don't know if you know something about them, but what's the name? The other calculus, combinator logics, and the combinators, basically the Y combinators, the K combinator, the I combinator. And now I was studying programming in theory from a completely abstract way, without even variables. So you had just these few pieces, these few combinators, and with them you could produce any kind of software, any kind of thing replicable on a von Neumann machine, from like two very simple combinators. And I started to fall into this rabbit hole. And then when at the second year, the new professor tried to teach me C, so just programming in C, I was completely incapable of appreciating that, because it was absolutely ugly compared to the theoretical stuff. That it was dirty, exactly. It was so much implementation details that I don't want. I don't care for this stuff. This is asymmetric. This is dirty. This is not clean, not symmetrical. And I started to. This is a very good. So now you can see Stephen Wolfram, and like Mathematica. I studied Wolfram language and Mathematica. Wolfram language is something that I could actually learn and use a little bit. And I learned Lisp, because Lisp is not as beautiful as combinator logics, but is okay. It's a type of lambda calculus, so I appreciated it. But what was the problem? The problem was that while I was very well versed into very abstract stuff like Lisp macros and stuff like that, I was completely incapable of doing a single basic C-like syntax stuff. I cannot learn it. And you will see now, if we do some practice, you will see that I get stopped by very stupid things. Like, for example, I'm trying to learn Rust right now, because I'm helping sponsoring BDK effort and RGB effort, and they are all in Rust. So I try to read a little bit of the code that people are producing, which I help sponsoring and coordinating. and I really cannot learn Rust because it's the C-like syntax is too ugly for me. I cannot tolerate that you use a different syntax for assigning a variable and for defining a function, because for me a function is just a variable containing a lambda. It's just the same. You should not have two kinds of syntax for the same things. So I will show you in real time how bad I am at this stuff. I cannot finish a single line of code without thinking about how to change the language.
Local optimization. I'm looking for the address on, but I thought this is for Lisp, but it's for LaTeX. It's like, your paper makes no goddamn sense, but it's the most beautiful thing I have ever laid my eyes on. Yeah, because LaTeX has that, and it's all the different languages, they have specifics. I always laugh about Java is because Java has all these importings, and it ends up exactly like this. I'm still 2 pages in and I have no idea what you're saying because most of the code is like that.
Because of inheritance?
No, it's more because of all the importings. If you go into any mature code base, it has, and especially code base that's not done extremely well. In Java is so verbose language that everything is extended. So if you open up any Java class, what happens is that you have this huge list of importings. So if we look at in BTCPayServer, we don't have that as much, but what you end up in Java is you end up with like using this, using that, and then the first 2 pages are always what namespaces you're using. Then also in Java you have the fact that your namespaces are very verbosely defined. So you're navigating within the folders. So there are more running jokes. Finally can code in.
So for example, is the fact that your sub namespaces syntax is a dot just the same as a method calling, is that consistent, or is just an exception I'm supposed to digest just because? you know what I cannot stand this stuff.
Yeah, because with Java you end up in this situation. You monitor. This is the monitor. You can finally write. There is the joke.
The Java monitor.
Yes. No, I absolutely get you, because I say you and I suffer from the same problem of local optimizations. And then you lose the track of, the big goal. It happened right now. Our big goal was to get you screen sharing and coding, but we had so much fun talking about all these different subjects that now it's time to start finishing. But
so either we missed the global optimization, or I'm so smart that I tricked you into not shaming me with my very inexistent code ability. So I'm either a genius or a moron.
No, I think maybe I'm also a genius, because for me, when I say social developer, you absolutely are. And listening to you talking about all these different subjects and how you define social taboos, how you have been thinking about coding, it's valuable information for me, and I'm hoping it's valuable information also for people watching this stream. People that I usually pull in more for comments, but sorry, I just had to have Giacomo for myself, because we won't have a chance to hang out in Miami. And
selfish streaming. Sorry, guys.
Yes, selfish streaming.
We use you guys in order to just hang out.
Yeah. Well, what can I do? I'm the streamer, but I see that we do have some comments. So People asking, for Bitcoin development, can you start it with JavaScript or they need to learn Python? My experience with all of that, and to answer also the what you've been talking about, Giacomo, like getting into rabbit holes and then going into there, is I think you can contribute to Bitcoin in like a lot of ways. And you may think you need to go in some direction, but Bitcoin will put you on the right path. That's my actual answer to that. So, Praveen, if you're good with JavaScript, find a project in Bitcoin ecosystem that does use JavaScript. Luckily, we're going for, the layered model, where not everyone will need to become a C++ wizard and then battle it out in a Bitcoin core repository. Rather, what will happen is what happened to me. Like, I was really good at C#, and I was put on a project that was based on C#. So my impact over there could have been, it's much more than what it could have been if I spent 3 years getting really good at C++. So I would encourage that type of thinking, and then just find who are the people that inspire you and connect with them, see how to help them out, and keep pushing, because the battle that's coming with Bitcoin, it will be glorious. Right, Giacomo? We'll have Michael Saylor. Maybe we need to, kill him as a hero. Maybe. Figuratively, of course. Roger is still alive. I mean, he's just always crying on Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. And also, we are talking about millionaires, so you don't threaten the life of millionaires alive, because they may have means.
There we go. We already set the stage that we're joking, so But
anyway, about your suggestion, probably that would mean for me, stop trying to learn Rust just because the things that I'm following now are Rust, and just look for some Bitcoin project in some exoteric mindfuck-like language that I can like. Is there any Lisp Bitcoin project? At least Lisp, like some Clojure Bitcoin library, I can take a look at. I don't know, or a Mathematica-based Bitcoin implementation, or even more, concatenative languages like Joy and Cat. Something like that.
No. My advice for you would be to let developers do the work, and you keep pushing as a social engineer. We just need to social developer. We just need to position you better, and
probably that's what I will do, because I also shape my life in a way that I don't have time in front of a computer, relaxed time to actually do stuff. So it's probably what I will do. I have to say that I do suffer from developer envy, though, a lot, because you see, the thing is that all the things are useful, but what a good developer can do is very sovereign and independent. What I mean is that Nicolas can say, I will make you obsolete, and he starts coding alone, and something happens, and he makes BitPay fuckers obsolete. If I want to make somebody obsolete, I need to actually ask other people, coordinate other people, and there will be political fights, and there will be problem with funding, and it's not the same level of sovereignty. I depend on many other people. Of course, everybody depends on people. Even a developer depends on people on forum helping them out, or people who created the language and the compiler and the whole stack. So everybody depends. But when you are a social engineer like me, like a guy coordinating other guys, you depend a lot on other people. While a developer can actually sit down, disappear from today's, and just come back with something working. There, I make you obsolete, which is something I really envy of people like you.
Yeah, but here is the thing. Like, a lot of people didn't see all the behind this the curtain when it comes to Nicholas. I mean, let me not be humble. Nicholas was lucky to also have me, because I'm a great team builder. So he was lucky to have Pavlonex and Cooks. He also had me create a first little team around Nicholas, because Nicholas is actually quite interesting team leader in a sense that he doesn't want to lead at all. But so you must force people around him, and then that's where he, inspiration of working with Nicholas takes over. But you do need to position people very interestingly around him, or he'll just ignore them, which is the task that I had. And not a lot of people know like those details. So I think when it comes to you, I'm hearing all you're saying, and I'm just thinking you really want to become Luke, right?
Yeah,
That's like Luke Dash Jr. No,
I love Luke. Luke. He's one of the most incredible person I've ever met. And I don't really envy him because he's so good as a developer that he will never probably do something like BTCPay himself, because he's too much low level. I mean, he's maintaining not, but he will probably not do some like weekend project just because he's very, very low level, very, very serious. He's a very good engineer. I'm not an engineer. I don't want to be an engineer, but I would like to be better at trying out stuff, prototyping stuff that works. One of the things about development is that it cuts the bullshit. I can talk my way out of some discussion. You cannot talk your way out of working code. Either you make something work or you don't. It's something that really keeps you very honest, which I don't have in my line of work, because I can talk a lot. I can when I create a holding or I funnel a donation, I can actually bullshit a lot, and I envy this capability of creating something that works.
Yeah, I must. I must just warn you, it is way more involved and extended process than it looks. But if that's your ambition, I will help you actually. I'm not that good at Rust, but maybe I build a team around you that is good at Rust. So
that would be great.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, we will. But we will take it private. Sorry, you all. Like, I'm watching the stream. Because
it's a self project.
Yeah, self project. But that's
also, I'm Rust. For example, I'm not just saying that I will ever become good at Rust, because Peter Todd and Andrew Postra preached me the Rust religion a lot. And Alekos Fidini, my friend and the developer of BDK, is also doing the same, and Riccardo Casat as well. So I understand their points, and Daniela Brozzoni, another very good developer. So I understand their points about Rust. But for example, from the point of view of aesthetics, I literally hate Rust. I cannot stand it.
You need to go over it, or if repulsion is just too much, then it will never happen, because what people admire when it comes to developers is exactly like this. Yeah. But you look at this is a full more than a year, because this is where it started. And it's every day and every day. And
you really have to love it. You have to love it. You cannot force yourself into that.
Yes, that's the thing. So, especially if you want to say review the code, which is what majority of people also want to get. Reviewing the code is way harder than writing code. So, yeah, that's a trap. That's really a trap. What you really want as a maybe non-technical person wanting to become technical is the ability to run code and make small changes. And that's usually where I would think about product manager as a example role that is really good. Like product manager that can actually get the development environment up and start project in debug mode is very valuable. But maybe that's the future for you, Giacomo. We definitely need to do something. I didn't know this was a big passion for you, and because it is, I'm going to help you out. Maybe you won't get to like this contribution graph. But
yeah, my life is not really organized in a way that can make that possible. Actually, probably it could be something like I
like
can probably
this.
arrive to 3 days a week to in front of a computer. But right now I'm traveling all the time between Italy and Switzerland, and so I'm not really, I don't have a developer lifestyle. I'm never in front of a laptop basically, so it sucks.
No,
But still.
we gonna organize something. I just need to look at your website, upcoming events. See you at one of those events, and we organize 2 hours of Uncle Coding Live, you and me. So usually these streams are all about inspiring people to become developers, start coding. We now have Giacomo inspired, and we're gonna make it happen.
Absolutely. So keep watching, and we will have a new 2 hours and a half session in which I will show off the fruit of this inspirational.
Listen, the closing announcement for this one is actually really interesting. So everyone knows that Sunday Coding with Uncle Rockstar is at 1 p.m. On Sunday. So the next episode will be at 1 a.m. on Sunday, and it will be Matt Odell, me, after party, coding. I'm getting Matt to code as well. And we will have another special guest that I'm not going to announce now. But Giacomo, for you, it should be something like 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. But you always have a replay, so be sure to watch.
I will definitely watch it.
Yes, because the next guest at 1 a.m. will be you at the next conference. So
I mean
that's the idea. My man, thank you again for joining.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah, for me as well. And viewers, I see you in approximately 7 days at 1 a.m. See you then. Bye.
See you there. Bye.